Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the show where I talk about movies that I like. Today I'm talking about a modern cult classic, Nick Cage indie movie. It's called Mandy. Or you can call it Mandy, whatever.
You tell him, Johnny. You tell the world.
This one stars Nicolas Cage and Andrea Riseborough as a married couple who have a run-in with a nasty cult led by Linus Roache. Some very bad stuff goes down, and madness and vengeance ensue. I've seen this movie 2 times now, once when it first came out, and once about a week ago. I enjoyed the film, and both times it left me thinking about it for a few days after. And I found it kind of frustrating because it comes so close to being a great film, but it just doesn't quite get there. So stuff I liked about the movie. Wonderful cinematography, excellent, confident, well-structured shots. It's very hypnotic to watch. It had me just kind of glued to the screen for the majority of the film. Wonderfully done. The acting. Nick Cage, I don't know how you feel about him. I enjoy his stuff. If you're not a huge fan, don't worry, he is mostly reined in for this one, although there is one scene where he's let off his leash and gets to go, full cage. Andrea Riseborough was excellent as well. She was very subdued for the most part, as was most everybody, actually. Most of their performances weren't very showy ones in terms of, I'm acting! And emoting, heavily emoting stuff. There's a lot of stoic one-shots with slow panning and not a lot of camera movement. Just very intense, on-your-face kind of stuff. And that's fine, but I found that it's stuff that mostly other actors would maybe admire more than audience members. Sure, I get that it's probably harder to pull off a great performance when you're not doing much, but it doesn't necessarily make it better for the audience to watch. Linus Roache was probably the luckiest actor here. He got to do the most kind of over-the-top acting, and he was really good. Everyone else, yeah, great, just didn't get to do too much. The biker gang. I enjoyed that element of the film. I thought they were freaky and menacing. They did, however, really remind me of Hellraiser, the Cenobites specifically. Even Carruthers' description of the biker gang heavily evoked Hellraiser.
When I seen them things, they were in a world of pain. But you know what the freakiest part was? They fucking loved it.
Oh, back to the cinematography for a second. There was one shot that I thought was a direct homage to Near Dark. I enjoyed the shot, but I just saw it, I was like, it's basically the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. So here's a comparison. I enjoyed the story. It wasn't difficult to follow, although I will say I didn't necessarily understand some of the symbolism they used. For instance, I have no idea what the meaning behind the horn that they used to summon the bikers was. Is that a biblical thing? Did that come into play later? I don't know. It was just right over my head. I'm not the sharpest spoon in the drawer when it comes to that sort of stuff. So the story did come together. There was just some elements that I didn't quite understand. The dialogue was at times really good. There was several one-liners that took me off guard and really made me laugh and kept me engaged.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada from Chips.
But for the most part, I found the talking to be kind of melodramatic and a bit pretentious. And it even seemed kind of amateurish at times. It didn't detract too much from the movie for me. It's just something I didn't really care for. So here's the key scene in the movie. Mandy is getting preached at by Jeremiah, played by Roache. She is heavily drugged on LSD and a beetle sting? Beetle venom? Beetlejuice? Not exactly sure what that was there. So she's tripping hard. She's seeing tracers in her vision. We can see this. And there's an effect where both of their faces are kind of phasing in and out of each other. And I thought that was just great. It reminded me of something that you'd see in a 60s or 70s art house film. It's not an especially complex effect, as far as I can tell, but it definitely made its point. It was very cool to look at. And that was the scene where all of a sudden I was 100% in. Up to that point, I was kind of interested, but not completely drawn in. The score, wonderful in this. It was done by a guy named Johan Johansson, and it's an electronic synthesizer-based score, which I'm a fan of. It's very reminiscent of something Tangerine Dream might do. If you're a fan of that, you'll probably like this. That guy's since passed on, which is too bad because I really liked what I heard here. The chainsaw fight. I forgot to mention this is that movie. You may have heard of it. If that's all you know about the movie going in, you're probably going to be disappointed. It's just not that kind of movie. It does happen, but there is problems with it, mainly that it is underlit. This is a problem that plagues a lot of the movie, but this scene especially. Of all the scenes in the movie, this is the one where I thought that they would really want to show the audience what is going on. And by underlit, I mean that one episode of Game of Thrones season 8, you know the one. It's that level of underlit for an unfortunate amount of the movie. A lot of key scenes are at this level of darkness. And I'm not sure if this was somebody screwing up or if it was a conscious choice. Either way, didn't work for me. It really hurt the film. That was probably the biggest thing wrong with it for me. So I guess that leads into the stuff I didn't really care for in the film. The lighting, that was the biggest problem. I mentioned the dialogue, how I didn't really care for some of it. Another thing that didn't really work for me was the length. 2-hour movie, not all that long, but I think this should have been closer to an hour and a half. And they could have trimmed off 15 to 20 minutes easily just by not lingering as long on some of the shots. I get why they would want to hold these shots for so long, as they're very gorgeous. The side effect of this is that it does make the movie just drag a little bit. And there was also several scenes that could have been just completely cut and had no effect whatsoever on the narrative. So that's kind of my major points on the movie. I did enjoy it overall. It could have been great, but it's just really good instead. And I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. Yeah, great acting, great cinematography when you could see it. Liked the story, liked the biker gang. Didn't like some of the dialogue, loved some of the dialogue. Acting was great, just a little bit subdued. It's worth a watch, that's for sure. If you have seen it, what did you guys think of Mandy? And what do you want to see me talk about next? Let me know in the comments, and if you could do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. It is quick, free, and relatively painless after all. Plus it helps me out. Thanks for watching me talk about movies for a little while, and you can tune in next time to see what else Johnny likes. Did I press fucking record this time?